Okay, the checker flag has flown and the race is over. And we're going to rant about it. Aaron Ryan, did you know that you're the first person in AMP to win the Daytona race twice?
I did know that. Yeah, I won the first one. It was when we didn't even have a broadcaster.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Won that
thinking
in the
about
good
that
old Hooters
yesterday.
car.
I was like, I wonder if we'll have a repeat winner. I wonder if we had a repeat winner, who would it be? It would either be Aaron, Brad Dove, or me.
Here's another fun fact. The last two Daytona races, the person who won the second heat won the race.
Well, that disqualifies me because I wasn't even in the second heat.
Yeah,
That's why-
that's
that's
the trick
why-
next year. You got to be in the
that's-
second heat race.
That was my problem. That made sense. The first heat race was boring.
It was. Can
But,
confirm. How about the pushes from Ryan Wendt, Aaron?
Dude, he's got to teach me something because I don't understand how he keeps his car under temperature. Like, I felt like he pushed me for more laps than I can handle, just nonstop on my bumper. I mean, he's an absolutely insane pusher, and there was one point during the race after green flag pit stops where I was trying to catch up to the Stevens group, and I was pushing Pop, and after 2 laps, I'd start to overheat, and then I was managing it constantly for like the next 20 laps, and I just I mean, we got there eventually, but it was like my engine was constantly around 290. Like, I was always on the edge of blowing up. And I need to take some notes from Ryan Wendt. I got to ask him how the heck he keeps his car under temperature. What are the secrets? You get to put the hand out the window or something? Because I need to figure it out.
That'll be those Joey Logano gloves or something like that.
Yeah, it's the webbed gloves.
Yeah, he's definitely got a trick or two. I'd like to learn some of those myself. He is an incredible. But he pushed me in the at the iRacing superspeedway in the heat race. I had 3.5 minutes worth of damage on my front end, and he pushed me to a second place finish on that. And I was like, wow, I
You had
shouldn't
that
have
much
been up there.
damage on you in that race?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to pit, but when I got done pitting, I still had 3.5 minutes to go.
At
All
that
in the
point,
front.
that's definitely aerodynamic damage, man. He's a
Yeah.
heck of a heat pusher.
He is an insane pusher.
It got to the point where after the heat race with him, like throughout the main race, my entire team, like if we saw him, we were going to try to link up with him at some point because it was like that's someone you want. He knows how to make the outside line work even without the numbers.
Yeah, yeah, incredible for real. But what do you think? What do you think was the key decision that you made during the race that led to you winning?
Probably the move I made coming out of 4 to pass Chris. We had the outside line rocking before not the final caution, but it was like one of the big ones. It was like the big one before the multiple green white checkers. We were coming out of turn 4 and I was pushing him on the high line. And I was like, where he hasn't come down yet. I was expecting him to come down in front of the field the second we got clear. And he never did, and I was still right on his bumper, so I just cut to the bottom as fast as I can, and the air just like sucked me forward where he didn't even have a second to react. Like, he tried to react, but the air had already pushed me and I was at his left rear. And because that essentially gives, like, if for the restarts, yes, the outside lane builds up for strength over time, but not on restarts. On restarts, it takes a minute for people to gather together. So having the inside line on green white checkers at Daytona is pretty important because also if we're too wide, the guy behind you can't go nowhere. He's dedicated to you.
Yeah,
I think that was the move that got that. Without that move, I don't think I would have gotten it. Probably would have been involved in the whole field wreck.
yeah, the entire field. I think you and Barr might have been the only safe ones in that. So did the race play out kind of the way you expected, or did you have to kind of adapt on the fly? Or
I did not play out the way I expected. I didn't expect us to only have 5 cautions. I did not expect us to be pitting under green. There was a lot of shuffling going on early on in the race. People were pretty hungry.
yeah,
And then it seemed like maybe 20 to 30 laps in, people started to settle down and we went green and we started, just getting single file for a little while. And it seems like people got bored of that at some point and then they just started to get the outside line going again. And I think we had 2 cautions up until the green flag pit stops, which is, I think that's pretty crazy. That's green flag pit stops was what, 80 laps in?
yeah.
That's 2
momentum.
cautions, 80 laps, Daytona with 25 cars. That did not go the way I thought at all. I
Reminded
I
boring
won
race.
that race and I thought it
Yeah.
was so boring. Like that was nothing happened the whole
I
time.
lost.
Everybody was saving.
I lost the draft 5 laps into that race, and I don't know what it was. I think because at the time I was still running my old wheel and pedals, and I think I had something was messed up with like the calibration. So I don't think my full throttle was actual full throttle at that point.
I had that in the middle of season 2.
But it did seem like coming out of the stage, right? Because like that last lap going to the stage got a little bit wild there for a second. And then coming out of the stage, everybody was like, okay, this is my line. I'm in it. We restarted. And if there was a gap, outside filled inside. And I think we were single file for 25, 30 laps. Because I think a lot of us, and like for me, for sure, I looked down and was like, holy shit, we have 75 laps of this to go still. Because those first 25 laps, like you said, everybody was in, out, as Signature likes to say, duck, dive, dodge, dodgeball, or whatever the hell he says. Like, everybody was moving around, kind of trying to get there. But yeah, like, you look down, you're like, oh, there's still 75 laps of this. I think I might want to keep the nose on my car for a little while.
Yeah, so like after the stage, people started taking it easy. I got myself back to the lead in front of Barra at some point. I don't remember when or how, but I was leading and I was asking Jordan, I was like, second lane building back up? And he's like, nope, the whole field's single file. It's like, all right. So I just started cruising and I was never getting pushed. So I was like, all right, whatever. I guess I'll just save some gas. Maybe everybody's saving. And then I opened my fuel window and I was looking at it and I was like, why are we saving? We have to save like 15 laps of fuel. I was like, that's not happening. I know y'all saving
no
skills,
way.
but I can't
There's
do
no
that.
way.
So once I realized that, I went back full throttle, and then it seemed like everyone like started to pick up because I went full throttle, and I think Ethan was behind me, and I gapped him by like a car length and a half, and then he picked back up, and then the whole field got a run, and it seemed like the chaos just kind of began again.
Like
Get
some
to
of
the
them,
bottom for pit stops.
I feel like some of them felt like they had something to prove or something. I don't know.
That's everybody at Daytona,
Guilty.
man. That's everybody at Daytona. It's the great equalizer, man. It's just
To an
strategy,
extent.
good timing, and
Luck.
thinking ahead. Like
Ooh,
thinking.
luck.
I said it a lot in my interview, where I said I was like, one of the big things about Daytona is it's a whole different skill set of racing. It's thinking one step ahead. Like if we're on a green white, if we're 3 to go, don't burn up your engine on the first lap. Start
Right.
on the second lap because then you can push 100% the way to the end. If you start on if you start on 3 to go, then by the time you get to the final lap, you're overheating. Like it's thinking steps ahead to help
You'd
yourself.
be like Buzz. Be like Buzz.
He was
Blow
pushing me, and
3
we're
laps
two,
in the heat race.
he's pushing me, and we're 2 laps in, and I was like, dude, he is not let off. He's gonna blow his engine. And then the next lap, and I was like, what are we doing?
I was watching the thing, and I was like, "Oh, Buzz just blew up." And everybody, what? Really? All right, he blew up.
I thought because it was just the heat race, I was like, maybe he's testing to see where he
Maybe.
can how far he can push the car. I was like, oh well, he found it.
I guess. But I know you saw that big wreck behind you at the end, and I know you saw a bar behind you. Did you think he was gonna? Well, you think he was about to do something to try to take it from you?
I wish I would have recorded our team chat in that moment.
I wish you would have.
We saw him 3 wide behind us. And then I'm focused on trying to like when I'm in the turns on the bottom lane, like I zone out so much because like I'll find I don't like weird thing. I don't like using the windshield tear off. I use whatever dirt is on my screen as reference to my lines. I'm not even joking. There was a mosquito on my screen, and it was in the perfect spot where my left wheels could be like 2 inches up from the yellow line. And I stared at that thing in every single turn and made sure it was exactly even on the line. So like I kind of zone out to what's behind us if I'm trying to run smooth and he's pushing me 100% of the time. So I didn't really see the wreck at all. I just saw all the cars disappear on my relative. And Bar goes, oh, they all wrecked. And then we're going down the straightaway. And I see him weaving. I was like, don't do it to me again. We're not twice in the same race because he passed me on the outside for the stage win. And he pulled up to the high line and I had a split second thought of, there's no way he's not giving it to me. That's a lie. And he came back down and I was like, oh, and I can't repeat what I said. But I was like, oh, don't you dare. I was like, I'm going to block the out of you. Don't even try it. And I almost put him into the wall at one point. And he said his problem was that he set his run up like it was Talladega. Like if we were at Dega, he would have had me because he was getting momentum across the line.
Yeah, that extra burst coming out of the trioval probably would have had you.
Yeah, because he was coming at me with a full head of steam. We were weaving all over the place though. I'm always happy racing my teammate at the end of the race, especially at both but our mini race and the full race. At the end of the race, racing my teammate too wide at the end is.
Yeah.
I'm the team owner, and my teammate beat me in the championship last year, so I'm not gonna be upset with him winning, pretty much ever.
Of course not. I wouldn't expect you to.
For television, that's for sure. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the race back, Aaron, but like back from where I spent a majority of the second half of the race, there was a ton of checkup and eating runs and stuff that I feel like if because that's one of the bigger fields I've raced against as far as like a Daytona race, right? And especially in a league race where it's like this isn't an official race that just so happen to have 25 cars registered. Like I have to race against everybody next week too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
we gotta make sure we make friends.
I'm not trying to make enemies just yet, right? But I've never understood that, and maybe you can talk about it from a front runner perspective. But like, when you feel that accordion as the leader, does it make you more nervous, or does it make you feel more comfortable knowing that, like, oh, well, now I know that at least the car fourth on back in this line has absolutely no momentum?
It's really hard to determine because you can't really see much. It's hard to tell that it's going on. You can get a little bit of an idea depending on who's behind you. Because even if you're not trying to push and burn and like heat up your engine, the best way for the line to go fastest is for everyone to just stay close to each other, right? Like that's how the outside line gets run. So you don't got to push each other. Just everyone stay as tight as possible. Everyone, just don't just let off going into the turn because that just kills all momentum. Depending on the person behind you, if you're entering 1 and you're entering 3 and you're seeing they're backing up a car length, there's pretty much going to be an accordion effect the whole way back through the field. And that's where it comes where like, Signature asked me at my interview why I rose up to get with Barr at one point. It was like the final restart. I rose up and got with Barr, and I left Ethan. I was like, because I know Barr. I know how he's going to push me. He's not going to let off. I know he's going to push me center. I was like, I know Barr. That's who I want pushing because I know he's not going to like let off and try to build a run to slam me. He's just going to be on my bumper 100% of the time. But yeah, it's really hard to tell at the front. But I mean, as I'm sure everyone in the leagues knows who they like to push and who they like to be pushed by. And we all kind of learn that as we race with each other more often which was nothing against Ethan, but I just don't know him at all.
Yeah. There's a few guys I trust more than others, so, and vice versa. Some of them
Everybody's got their lists. Everybody's got their lists. They're for all different reasons. I don't like the way he pushed. I'm not helping him. Everybody's got their lists.
I know everybody wants to help Brad Dove from here on out, so I just like to pick on him.
Dove is a bird without feathers. You know that? Oh, that was a bad dad joke.
Well, he made him a brand new best friend tonight.
Aaron, I can tell you,
he was so mad
when I was spinning helicopter across the, coming through 3 and 4. All I heard from my living room was from a 7-year-old. And when I tell you I'm making T-shirts, I swear to Christ, he's gonna have a T-shirt that says "Go Aaron" on it. Like,
well, I'm glad I have a fan out there that makes me smile. I'm glad somebody was cheering because I know there were a few people. I mean, I'm not dumb. I know there were a few people when I crossed the line first. They're like, "You gotta be kidding me!" I heard some of them live on YouTube, and I hope they watch this because I know I heard you the second I crossed the line.
But back though, like some of the new guys though, like how do you with 2 super speedway races, right? Like 2 complete chaos races. Do you have an idea of these new guys based on what you've seen, or are you going to wait until we go to a technical track like Wilkesboro to really draw a conclusion on some of it? Because there's a ton of new faces this year.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's hard to fully tell. I think you can, for the 2 super speedway races, you can really tell who's got balls, who's going to do it. And you're gonna tell it's pretty hard to hide who your friends are at Daytona and especially iRacing super speedway, man.
Chaos.
God, we picked that knowing it was gonna be absolute chaos. We're like, this would probably be fun. Go get an all-star race lock in. Go fight.
What was we
It's
thinking?
really hard to tell. I mean, you find out who's gonna work with you pretty easily. Like there were some of the new guys that would stick with me, and there's some that the second we linked up, just run over. That's it. some people I know I can think of two people specifically who I remember like they're like refusing to push me. I'm like, all right, got it. We don't work together. Understood.
I tried
But I
pushing
mean,
you a couple
it's
times.
really you really just kind of tell I like ideas of how people. It's more or less how people race and who are your friends versus you know if we go into Kentucky or Kansas, like are they gonna be able to keep up with the front pack? Because
Yeah, that's a
everyone's
whole
got a
nother
chance to
story.
win at these races versus us going into going into an oval where you really got to take care of your stuff and maintain speed and run perfect lines. And you mess up once, you're in the wall. You've just lost the lead. I don't know. We'll see how some of them react. They might be extremely fast. I know. I'm sure Christopher's pretty fast, considering Steven brought him in. I'm sure he'd be fast. I don't think Steven would have brought him in if he wasn't fast. You know what I mean? So,
You know, I think you
I
definitely brought in somebody you felt like could be competitive.
oh yeah. And you saw that there. I mean, in that move at the end, I don't know. I know he was the initiator, but that I don't think that was his fault. Like you could tell so he moved to the inside lane, it was there. And then from the cockpit view, you can tell that his car just got pulled to the left. Like the air just completely sucked him down. And I don't know if that was Barr and I moving down 2 lanes ahead. That might have caused it. I mean, I don't know. That
Air
wasn't
can
his
definitely
fault.
play tricks. You know, that's what the side draft will do. It actually it will pull the two cars. It's almost like a magnet sometimes. It will pull the two together and you see them bounce off each other, and that's just side draft. Everybody's like, you ran into me. You're side drafting.
You're literally trying to suck my car closer towards you. Of course I ran into you. How can I avoid it?
I think it happened to me and you, Aaron, when I got kind of pushed out of the top line. I don't remember if it was after a restart, but Ryan pushed me and I kind of like got up beside of you because I wasn't quite ready for the push going into the corner. And so we came off and I tried side drafting you a little bit down the back straightaway. And then we got into the third into turn 3 and I came down and realized how close I was. But by then I was steering to the right and my car was moving left. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not good. This is not good.
like
And then I hit the wall and the rest of my race was over after that. But
it's like a magnet, man. And I sometimes wish like I'm not the best racer out there, but I think I'm pretty good at holding it on the bottom.
agree.
Sometimes I wish I wasn't because that gives people opportunity to side draft me. You know what I mean? Like there are people I'm not going to side draft because I know they're not going to hold it on the bottom. They're going to be all over the place, and that's sadly enough that's going to benefit them because I'm not going to be able to slow them down. I'm glad you had enough faith in me that you could come down there and pinch me with less than a foot's width on either side of the car and trust me to hold it. I do take that as a compliment.
Well, and then I got scared, right? Because like the last thing I want to do is wreck people, especially people that I like and respect. And can you imagine my household if I wrecked my son's favorite driver? Right? Like it would be disaster. So, and that's I think because I've asked you and Roberge both about the new guys because like I was on the back of the 99. I can't for the life of me remember his name right now. Ethan. I was on the back of him for the entire first, until the first stage. And I mean, he held it relatively straight. If I bumped him, he didn't get all squirrely and stuff, which, I mean, I ended up lucking into a 4th place in the stage, which ended up being huge for my points situation. Not that I'm looking at points after the first race of the season, but like I scored some points that ended up helping me out finishing 20th a lap down, And that's why like I like the idea of a stage and some stuff like that. And not only from a competition standpoint, but from a points availability type of situation where you had some people that pitted and flipped the stage at a super speedway. And it worked.
I thought about it. I mean, I'm not surprised some people did it. And that's one thing that's going to be more prevalent I don't even know if that's the correct word, like more important for the league this season is stage points because we have a bigger field. You're not guaranteed stage points. When we were running 15 to 20 people a race, there's a pretty high chance you're going to get stage points. Like something bad is really going to have to happen to you for you not to. With this large of a field, it's like it's not guaranteed. You got less than a 50% chance that you're even going to get it. You're even going to get one. Like it's going to be pretty important moving forward. And stage points were pretty important to me last season because I think Steven had a higher finish, but I had a lot of stage wins and a lot of stage points, and that helped me out quite a lot.
Absolutely. So I think that takes care of the interview part of it. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to my mom. She watched the entire race. I was amazed. 3.5 hours. She watched the both heats start to finish, and cheering me on at the end. Thank Nicole for she's in the living room right now for letting me do this, and then watching the entire race while she was at work as well, working in an overnight shift. I want to thank Barr for, taking it easy on me at the end. I'm sure he could have been more aggressive. I know he could have. I've seen him up there. I know he could have been more aggressive.
If you would have been anybody else.
If I'd have been anybody else, when I blocked him, I think he wouldn't have. I think he would have hit me harder. So thank you to him, and then thank you to Jordan. We races like that really show how well you can work with your team. And Jordan and I worked together quite a lot trying to make our way through the field. There was a lot of really good communication there. I'm sad Davis wasn't there with us, but I know he'll be back soon. And then thank you to you guys for putting this on. I was pretty excited when you guys announced that you were going to start doing this. It's pretty cool, and I'm excited I watched the last podcast, and I plan on watching them the rest of the season. I think it's pretty cool. It's a little, it's a little recap. The day after, tensions have gone away, and emotions have calmed down, and you kind of get to look at it a little bit from more of an analytical standpoint, which is pretty exciting. So thank you.
We were going to do it immediately after the race, but figured that was probably a bad idea.
Bad idea. Well, also you'll be on depending on who it is. You can be up till 3 o'clock in the morning, because after reviewing the race, it takes me anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour to get all the stuff set, and that's depending on how long the reviews take. So, if you guys noticed, I didn't get anything posted till like midnight yesterday.
Yeah, it was a long night.
But yeah, I think next day might be best.
Yeah,
I think that's one thing that people understand. Maybe you could hit on real quick, Aaron, before we hang up with you. The administrative role, and you too, RB, the administrative role of a league like this. Naturally, there are bigger leagues out there, but I would argue, and I'm a part of some of those leagues that are a little bit bigger than ours, but I would argue that the way that y'all handle situations within, and I've said this to both of you before, like, you guys are my friends, right? Like, I have friends. I'm not, just in here on the headset, hunkered over, not talking to anybody all week long. But like, I talk to the two of you more than I talk to a buddy of mine that lives a mile south of me, right? So administrating versus maintaining relationships, like, well, you try to explain a little bit of that, because there are people that are going to listen to this that have no idea what exactly it is you do.
I like to tell people I'm like the accountant of the league. I'm just a regular admin, just like everybody else. But I'm the one who creates all the documentation. I'm the one who keeps track of the points. I'm the one who posts the penalties. I'm the one who keeps track of our budget, communicates with the race controller and with Signature for prices, and order the trophies. Davis orders the championship trophy because he's got like a guy that he knows that they just have a thing. But I order everything else. I mail everything out. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot sometimes, because I'm sure you guys remember, iRacing makes mistakes all the time. And then so does SimRacer Hub, which is what we use for the points. So I try my best to go back and double check everything. Like, every stage now of every race we do, ever since Chicago of last year, I go back and check the second every car crossed the line to make sure that they were exactly in that position, because SimRacer Hub gets it wrong all the time. I have to adjust it at least maybe one every 5 races. Trying, and we're not like a lot of leagues where we just put everything up to a vote throughout the league. We try to vote among the admins, which most of the decisions are pretty unanimous. I'm sure you can vouch for that, RB. Most of the time, everyone's pretty much in agreement. Sure. There's a few situations where we've had to definitely vote. But we try our best, nobody's perfect, but yeah, I keep track of the budget, the schedule, rookie of the year, team standings, best of the rest, locked in the all-star rates. Man, I'm the one who collects all the information from all the sponsors, tries to post penalties in the funnest way, or in the easiest way to understand possible. And my new task this year is, well, starting last year, was I put NASCAR fun facts at the bottom of the schedule. And this year is AMP Racing League fun facts. So I've got a huge list I've already got one for every single race, but I can't fill it out yet because the fact can change. And just for an example, they're like, most passes total drivers ever raced an AMP, total amount of sponsors, first ever pole, shortest track we've ever done, slowest average qualifying speed, like the most randomest of stuff.
Yeah, that was.
But yeah,
You just mentioned the slowest average qualifying speed, and I remember looking at it last week. And I think it's Steven Laskowski.
that was like
holds
82
that.
something miles an hour
Yeah.
at Chicago. It was like some
You're
crazy
the-
like that.
You're the fastest slow person, or the slowest.
Hey, so you're the
person.
you had the fastest, slowest lap ever in AMP Racing League. You had the fastest, slowest lap.
Congratulations.
But yeah, just
to
stuff like
Steven.
that. But with us, essentially, I can't post points after the race until the reviews are done. And we don't like to post points days later. Like, people spent hours racing. I want the points to be done as soon as possible so people can see them. So we review everything immediately post-race. For anyone who's watching and is new, everything gets reviewed the second the race ends. And then I start creating the points to post them that night. Points will always be posted the night of a race. Even if I'm at work, I will hop on Discord on my phone, get my laptop out and done it. I did it multiple times last season. They will always be posted the night of the race because you guys spent hours racing with us and dedicating your time to it. Whether or not you had a good race or bad race, I think you deserve to see what the points are at.
That's pretty awesome, man. And Aaron is probably the most organized person I know. See,
Insane.
if you see how the documents are laid out and the points and all that, and it's like, wow.
It's got to be organized or I'm going to get something wrong. And when it's not organized, I do get something wrong. Like I didn't have the heats on the schedule. Like I didn't have the heats on the schedule, and that's what everybody looks at. And we got in there, and Signature and Penguin are like, "We have heats." It's like,
I
what?
was confused.
I knew we had heats.
RB was
I
like,
knew
"Yeah,
we had
beat
heats just
Texas
because
every year."
we had heats all the time. Yeah, Kobe comes in, he's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "We do this every year. We always have heats."
And
But
then I
that's
was
just
like,
an example of me not
I've
being
never
perfect.
raced
It's like
Daytona.
I do make a mistake like that, and people reference the schedule that I post, and
Yeah,
never raced
nope.
Daytona with this league. I have always been gone opening week or had something going on opening Sunday. So I jump in and I'm like, I look up, I'm like, heat 25. What the fuck are we doing? And
that was a long heat.
25
will
laps
say
was
it.
a little long. We let Davis know, bro, that's a little long. We
Maybe
raced
10 or
150
15.
laps, man. Yeah, like 15 laps. Like, that, no more than that.
right. But I would like it to be said loud and clear from my mouth. Shout out to the admins at AMP Racing League. I do not envy y'all at all. I've been on both the good and the bad side of the admin reviews and the admin decisions, and I can say without question, there is not a more fair group of admins. That I've seen y'all penalize yourselves.
I've been on the bad side a few times, and I've been pretty upset. But I get it. It's got to be fair. Just because I'm mad doesn't mean they get a penalty. One thing also I'd like to mention for new drivers watching, please read the rules. We take so much time to write them and make sure every single detail is in them. Without reading them, you might miss yourself out on some points. Example, if
You
you
really
don't
might.
have a chance to serve your black flag at the end of the race, iRacing, if you get black flag last lap of the race, you can't serve it. There's not enough laps. It's going to send you to the back. We don't do that. You get your position that when you cross the line, because you didn't have a chance to serve it. So like there are multiple other things like that in there. Read the rules entirely, because if not, you're gonna miss out on points throughout the season. Plus, we spent a lot of time writing them, so please read them. I already yelled at Davis last week for not reading the rules.
We care a lot about those.
I was like,
rules.
Davis, we wrote it. You're the owner. Read the rules.
Dude, we got to see if we can like during this episode, if we can post, and if it's all right with the admins, obviously, we can post like some snippets of the way that he puts the rule book and the schedule and everything together. Because 90% of leagues you're in, it's just a Discord message that's 19 feet long, and you just scroll through it, and you're like, okay, what day is it? I can't remember what day it is. And so you're scrolling back and forth. You're like, okay, I remember racing Dover, but what's after Dover? How did I miss that race? Was I there? Aaron puts those together in such a way where, unless you blatantly, like he said, don't read it, there's no way for you to fuck it up.
Like, I even had one of my coworkers, like a fiber tech at my job, after I wrote the rules, and I was like, is it easily navigatable? Like, can you just read through it? Like, just tell me if it's easy to understand. Is it easy, like, to find certain sections? Is the font not big enough? Is it all just one big blur of text that's 3 pages long? Like, How do I make it where people don't just open it and be like, nope, I'm not reading that, and then move on? Yeah, shout out to all the admins. We try our best. We're not perfect. Things improve every single league, every single race, and every single season. And we always think of things where it's like, damn, why that needs to be in the rules. How do we not think of that? Like, this has been a problem for so many times. I mean, that is a constant thing.
Or all the
we're
wall
Which
trying
is
rides
to
why-
our
improve.
race last year.
Which is why at the bottom of the rules it says a little thing where things are subject to be added or not, and blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah, and yeah, where people,
Just because it's not in there doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
it's because
disclaimer.
in season 2, people were trying to abuse the rules, and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's just there's like a reference, like just read them, but don't try to find loopholes, because at the end of the day, if Davis is the owner of the league, if he doesn't like it, it's not happening. It don't matter what the admins say. It's his league. He's the boss.
And if you don't like it, you can get out.
We've
We
had
have a line, man.
We've had I'm blown away by how much this season has blown up this year. We've
It
had
really
so many
has.
applicants. Like we at one point had enough applicants to reach like 42 people.
See, that's
But
insane.
we shut down a lot because
That's
I
what
don't
say.
I don't
like,
want to race in a 42 car field. I don't know about y'all.
that's what I
We
say.
thought 35 was a good max, and then a lot of
Yeah.
them disappeared.
You
but-
got like Sim 500 and Chop Shop who are a little bit bigger leagues, but at the same time, AMP is as big as it wants to be.
Yeah, we're
Well,
perfectly happy where we are right now.
if you're happy with yourself,
It's competitive, and it's competitive from the front to the back. Like, I have no problems admitting that I'm a 15th to 20 place guy in a 20 car field, right? Like, I'm learning. I'm still learning how to race. I'm still learning how to be fast. I'm still learning how to save tires. I'm still learning all these things. And that's what it was, right? When we first, sorry, I shouldn't say we, when y'all first opened the series on iRacing, it was very, very clear that this is a beginner league. We're figuring out what we're doing. And now, like, there's a class minimum and an iRating cap, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we've kind of figured out that we can have great racing from first place to 25th place, and there's always something for signature to call. There's always something for y'all to look at after the race, because I've been a part of a couple of the races in the early seasons where it was like, okay, Aaron has a 47-second lead, and the next closest battle is a 13-second.
That was before I knew how to save my tires, and I just went full blast at the beginning of the race. And then RB slowly comes keeping up on me.
And then, to be
Um,
fair, the tire model has changed significantly.
I love
Yes.
the new tire model. It complements my
I
driving.
guarantee you love the new tire model.
I love it, dude. The
I
second that
can't
the
stand
update
it.
came out, I was on fire. The second the new update came out,
I
didn't
was
change the way
crying.
I drove it all. Barbie's like, this is hurting me. They
this
don't have to
is-
save
this
as hard.
sucks. And they don't have to save as much, and I have to drive harder. Dang it.
But going back to what you were saying, Colby. Sorry, I know you guys are trying to end it, but we just keep talking about different things. Going back to what you were
Go as
saying,
long as you
Colby,
want.
talking about like battles in between the field, from the front to the back. For any of the new guys that are watching, we do a thing through the playoffs called Best of the Rest, where even if you are not in the playoffs, you are still fighting for something. You're in your own little playoffs. And we do mail out trophies for that. We've mailed them out the past 2 seasons. There is an award. We don't have cash prizes. We don't make that much money. Maybe in a few more seasons, we'll get to a point where that'll exist. We barely make enough to pay the broadcasts and everything. But we try to make it to where everyone always has something to race for. And not to spoil anything, this Best of the Rest this year will be a little different to make it even more exciting. But I don't want to spoil that until we get a little closer. But just because you're not in the playoffs doesn't mean you don't have fighting. You still fight all the way to the end.
I think that's every league's struggle, right? Every league's struggle is they get to the playoffs because everybody's gone to the former NASCAR. We can say that now. That's wild to me. The former NASCAR point.
Yeah, isn't it?
And we, a lot of leagues are still racing on that former framework where, yeah, if you ain't in the top 16, what are you really doing here, right? And I think that's always been something that frustrates me with the actual Cup Series. It's like, God, why would you spend another, $25 million on a car and get a sponsor to show up, and you're not racing for anything other than maybe, for instance, you're Kyle Busch and you're 21st in points, and you're like, how do I get into the top 19 or 20 to make that financial gain, whatever that may be, $300, $400,000 between 21st. I don't know what that difference could be. But there's
And
something
that's
to be
something
said
that-
about that.
That's something that Davis brought over from when we raced in Heat and NASCAR Heat 5 was best of the rest. That is entirely his idea. And even still last year with it, racing, people declined in the amount of drivers we had, which is normal. But we're constantly trying to prevent that. We still want everyone to be excited to come race. So this best of the rest this year will be a little different. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I think people are going to like it. It's going to make it a little more exciting other than, well, you're still racing for a trophy. So it's going to be a little bit more fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, did you guys notice my fun fact of the week?
I did.
I did.
was it?
Hold on.
What was
Hold on.
What was my fun? Oh, wait, no. Wait,
It
that's
was
a
the,
different one.
Sponsors, right?
Was it the sponsors? Yeah, it was the sponsors. Yeah, we've had 25 different companies. That's insane.
That's something to be proud of. I mean, I didn't know there was things out there sponsoring people playing video games. That's a whole new concept for me.
I just
you
said
know?
that to
I'm like,
Zook. I could screenshot it. I just said that to Zook an hour ago. Yeah, he and I have been visiting. I'm trying, and because whether they listen to this or not, whatever, I'm trying to get a couple of these custom diecasts that Zook's been doing made for these people that sponsored the league, right? Something to kind of, I finish 17th to 20th every week. They're not real excited to tune in and watch me. They sponsored the league because they enjoy, like, people tune in on Sunday nights and watch. And it's not just my wife and my kids and my mom, right? Like, these people that sponsored the league, they actually turn it on, whether it's on YouTube or whatever, and they watch. And so
Yeah,
I'm
we
trying
got to work on getting y'all a sponsor.
Right. But these two people, the two specific people that I was able to bring to the league this year and help out with, they gave me a little extra money for Colby. Like, they sponsored Colby, which is absolutely bananas to me that people are like, yeah, you know what? You enjoy playing a video game for 6 hours a week here. So I've got that money put away elsewhere because I eventually would like to get off of this laptop and play with the big boys and have a real PC and do some of that stuff that y'all can do that I can't. Right. Some of the different programs that y'all run and stuff like that. Like I don't have overlays. I don't have any special sponsors. I don't have any special, AI coaching. I don't have any of that.
I don't have any of that.
I don't have any
And I have
overlays
a.
either. I'm still sitting on a metal chair.
G920. He has
I'm
a
still
metal
sitting on a-
chair.
I'm still sitting on a metal chair. I got a 923. That's the same thing as RB. It just got 2 more buttons. That's it. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Season 1, it was entirely us, and then season 2, we didn't have enough money at the start, so some of the admins, we all split all the fees to get paid up because everything's got to get paid up front. And the same thing in season 3, and then we had the whole season paid for before we even started iRacing Superspeedway. Like, I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that is left for sponsors, I mean, we always accept more sponsors, but specific item sponsors, all that's left is awards and trophies. I mean, we'll always accept more sponsors and donations, and your information and your logos and whatever you want your message to be will get out there. But off of just our base, checklist of we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this, all we got left is awards and trophies. And like, that is mind blowing to me.
That's
like, I
awesome.
remember making a sheet for 2 sponsors total for the whole season. Like, it's a lot more for me to keep track of. I'm not gonna lie. You should see my documents folder because I have every logo of everything. All of them. Every team logo, every single sponsor logo, multiple variations of every sponsor logo, all of their messages, slogans, emails, addresses, location, their Facebook accounts, their phone numbers, whatever they want, and I give that to Signature. That way, race by race, he can relay the information that's needed to represent the sponsors correctly. So we appreciate him.
It was really cool. Like, I remember I sent you a direct message like, dude, this is awesome. Because I remember, like, last season, you slid your credit card for all intents and purposes. And then everybody
Back up the front last season.
Everybody just kind of, like, not replenished, because I don't think you ever ended up making it all the way back to your initial purchase. But, what came in kind of went back into taking care of it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't...
And here's the thing,
that's
is, like,
not a problem to me.
y'all could be assholes about it and be like, you know what? AR paid this whole thing. AR everywhere. AR everywhere. Like,
Well,
no.
that's what Signature did. I told him to take my logos off.
Right.
Because once we got paid, I was like, all right, I'm not going to take this one's now this one, this one's not Red Clay Roleplay, this one's not Jordan Lane. And he was like, well, you're the reason I got paid at the front, so you're on every race. I was like, well, I appreciate that, sir. But yeah, no, that's not a problem to me. I want to make sure that I know it'll all come back, and the admins all worked really hard to get everything back. It's a hard grind for all of us working together. And when we started, it was just 3 admins, and then we're like, this is too much work for 3, too much work for 4. Okay, we're kind of on the same teams. We need more people to make this more fair. And what now? We're up to 7, 8 if Mr. Andrew decides to rejoin the league. He is going to come back eventually, just time frame unknown.
And we need him back. We need that
He's not-
personality in a race car. Okay.
He did pay for his numbers just in case he wanted to come back at some point this season. Davis paid for his number. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to be money hungry about me making sure people pay for their stuff. I'm just trying to make sure that the admins have less work to do once the race starts. The last thing we want to do is load into a race and then say, why am I being disqualified? Why can't I be included? It's like, well, here's 8 messages of please pay.
Yeah.
It's not free. Lobbies
race
are expensive.
control.
Everybody
expenses.
pays.
Race
Everybody
control's
pays their
expensive.
way.
I think the race
Everything-
control, it's expensive, but I think that's also taken a considerable load off of y'all, right? Because you're not
Gosh,
trying
yeah.
to hold the steering wheel around Chicago street course and clear black flags and give EOLs and do all that stuff.
Well, you were at Martinsville in season 2, right?
Mhm.
Yep. Well, that was when we didn't have race control,
Nope.
and we were every caution was probably 20 laps.
Oh.
And Davis, I don't think Davis actually focused on the racing the entire time. I don't think once. And after that, it was like, this is ridiculous. He's like, I can't do this. We need someone. It's too much.
You're trying to babysit 20 people that, like you say, we spend hours a week, right? Practicing, racing, participating, what have you. And so, yeah, like, hey, I got a black flag. Why the hell do I have a black flag, Davis? What's my black flag for? Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to run for 6th right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm racing for the lead.
We'll talk about it
it's-
later.
I don't know. I can't review it. And it's like, then now, if Penguin has a question, he can just straight up, if he isn't even sure, he just jumps in one of the admin chats and says, look, this, and this happened. Is that clearable? And we just say yes. Right. Yes or no. You know, most 90% of the time it's yes, because most black flags we do clear passing under yellow. And if you get wrecked in the pit road, you know, people just got to make sure to communicate with the admins, which I know last week was very difficult because there were a lot of people trying to communicate. But
I think every
I don't know.
caution came out of turn 4, so there was a minimum of 15 people that went under the
Yeah,
cone, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not perfect. We do miss some, and Penguin misses some, but I mean, we try our best. If we were perfect, I'd actually be making money off of this. I would actually be making an income if we were perfect, but we're not. We just try our best, try to make it fun for everybody.
God forbid you make it money.
I tell you, it is a riot. I was just tickled to be back on the track the last 2 Sundays. You know, it really does become almost a family affair, right? Like, a lot of us have met each other at this point, you know? So, and that, I remember when we all went to the Coke 600 last year, I was so excited to tell some of my friends and family about it, and they're like, you're getting on an airplane and staying in a complete stranger's house for 4 days and doing nothing but hanging out with them and talking about race cars and going to see a race. I'm like, yeah, why? Like, there are people that I've known for 20 years. I have never set foot in their front door. And I slept on Davis's couch for 4 days, like, and didn't even think twice about it, right? Like, this group has genuinely become some of my really good friends. Like, I ask people in this group normal life questions. It's not just, hey, how do I make sure that, you know, like, Aaron has sat for probably close to 10 hours by now. Like, all right, show me your graphics, share your screen. Let me help you get caught up on this, you know? And I mean, yeah, I've got friends here that are gamers and stuff like that too that could have helped. But I asked Aaron because Aaron's going to give me the best information for me, not the best information for what they think I should do. And that's awesome. Right?
Yeah, it is like a tradition at this point. I after the end of last season, losing the championship, I took a break. I didn't really race at all in the off season, like at all. I think I did like 2 or 3 races. I was not on iRacing. I needed a break. I needed a reset. And even though iRacing Super
Reboot.
Speedway didn't go so well for me, it has been a lot of fun getting back into the rhythm and looking at people's paint schemes and who am I going to work with. And all right, we're back to green and, you know, teams versus teams and drivers working together. And it has been, I missed it. It's almost like I forgot how much fun it was after how brutal of an ending last season was.
Yeah.
Dude, I wasn't mad at anybody other than myself. It was, I mean, but it's just is what it is.
Like,
you know?
how's this guy gonna come in? He's gonna win like
How many races did you win? Like 10?
I won 10 last season.
10 races.
I lost it when I didn't get pole. That's what I say. I lost it when I didn't get pole because I knew how bad the dirty air was going to be. And man, I tried my best, but I mean, bar one, so that's still a championship driver team owner, so that's a win in my book still. I got to look at the positive somehow.
Like I remember chiming into Discord one night, like 2 or 3 days before the race, and like, "Hey, Aaron, what you doing?" No response. All right, cool. I'll just hang out in here. Maybe he stepped away for a minute, and then you hear, "God fucking damn it!" I'm like, "You all right?" And he goes, "I have ran 4,000 practice laps at this racetrack, and I make the same mistake at the same part in the tire run every time." And I'm like, "Would you like me to go?" He goes, "No, you're good. I'm done."
I did a lot of practice laps, but Bar and I did them together. All the sessions we did together, and like, you know, he said that in his interview. That's one way our team is we share everything. And if it's hurt Bar in some situations where he's giving me tips and I've won, and I've beat him with the tips he gave me, and then I'm sure at Vegas he might have used some of those tips against me, but I wouldn't have it any other way. That's just the way we've always been since day one, and that's the way we will continue to be. As long as someone on our team wins, is what it is. I'm happy with it. Going for 3 in a row for the team championships.
I'm going to give you hell this time.
Yeah.
I got a full team. Even
That's
though
what everybody-
even though one of them was kind of
We'll see as the season runs on. Everybody at the beginning of last season was all serious about it, and then
Well-
maybe 10 or 12 races in, they were like, care about it anymore. We'll see.
well, if that happens, then I'm just gonna
As long as you
I'm
can
just
keep,
gonna LPA do something else.
as long as you can keep Doug from loading in a Toyota instead of a Chevy, I think you'll be all right.
He's not getting away with it again. He's done it twice. He's not getting away with it again.
He ain't gonna do that because I mean he doesn't like the Toyotas. So.
My dumbass about loaded into iRacing superspeedway in a Toyota just because it got to be such a habit, you know. And then even like after I was done racing the second half of the season, like I was still painting Toyotas. I remember Aaron one night in Discord picking on me. He's like, "Watch this. You're going to paint all these Toyotas, and then you're going to change manufacturer next season, and you're going to have to remake all these paint schemes."
That's
and
what everybody does.
And
They
that's what
just
you
keep
did.
changing manufacturers.
here I am back in the
Understand.
Chevy. The nice thing is I didn't have Trading Paints Pro when I initially ran the Chevy the first 2 seasons of AMP. So like it's a completely clean slate of like I have 0 paint schemes, right? And then instead of making 26 paint schemes, I've made 3. I might make a 4th, and I'll just cycle through them, keep them fun. You know, I got to figure out what I'm going to do for a number 1 throwback this year. That'll be fun, like to figure out. But yeah, no, it's nice being back in the bow tie brigade,
They're easier to paint.
except for those giant holes in the hood.
Yeah, you kind of, it's a little problematic for
Yeah.
larger
Drives-
logos.
Drives me nuts because that's on the Toyota. You can slap a hood or a logo from hood to hood, right? And it goes over the louvers just fine. You slap the same logo on a Chevy hood, and it's like, how about you don't get half of the B and half of the S on stuff at burgers? You don't get it.
Appreciate everybody out there if you're listening. I want to thank everybody in the AMP Racing League for joining in and helping us out. And if you're watching the races, I hope you enjoy them. And yeah, thank you to Mr. Aaron Ryan for joining us tonight. And I appreciate you, Colby. And we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.